All right, so you're gearing up for a packaging production manager interview, huh? Feeling a little overwhelmed by all the potential questions.
It's a big role.
Definitely. But don't sweat it. We've got you covered. We've been digging into RoleCatcher's guides on this, career guides, interview guides, all that good stuff, and we're here to give you the inside track.
Think of this deep dive as your secret weapon.
Exactly. Practical tips, insider insights, and even some surprising facts about the packaging world to help you, really stand out.
Because it's more than just boxes and tape, right?
Way more. So first things first, what does a packaging production manager really do?
It's about so much more than just like handling packaging. It's a dynamic role.
Okay, so paint me a picture.
You're preventing damage, ensuring quality, even understanding all those tricky shipping logistics.
I see. So it's about the whole journey of a product.
You're basically the unsung hero protecting everything from that new phone to like life-saving medicine. Pretty cool, right?
Definitely not your average desk job then.
Right. And speaking of busting myths, let's talk about this idea of the boring office job.
Yeah, because there's got to be more to it than spreadsheets.
Way more. Yes, there's an office component, but think about visiting production facilities, maybe even attending industry events.
Networking, checking out new tech. I can see how that would be exciting.
Exactly. And speaking of tech, it's totally changing the game. 3D printing for custom solutions, sensors monitoring shipments.
That's next level stuff. Okay, so we've got the big picture, but what about the skills that really matter in this role?
This is where it gets interesting. It's not just about being a technical whiz.
So what else are we talking about?
Monitoring, judgment, even persuasion play a huge role.
Persuasion. Interesting.
Yeah, you're not just managing a process, you're leading a team, solving problems, and making sure everything runs like a well-oiled machine. You've got to get people on board with your vision.
Makes sense. Okay, let's dive into the interview itself. RoleCatcher highlights 9 key questions that often pop up. Question number 1. What are your qualifications for this role? Seems straightforward, but what are they really looking for here?
It's all about storytelling.
Storytelling.
Think of your career as a narrative. What experiences have shaped you? What challenges have you overcome? Don't just list your degrees and certifications. Connect the dots. Show them how your journey has led you to this point.
So instead of just saying, I have a degree in packaging engineering, you'd want to paint a picture, right?
Exactly. You could say something like, my passion for packaging started during an internship at a food packaging plant. I was fascinated by the challenge of creating packaging that was both functional and sustainable.
I like that. It's engaging. It sets the stage for you to dive into those specific skills and experiences.
Right. And that's where RoleCatcher's AI comes in.
Oh, yeah. Their platform could help tailor your answers, can it?
It's like having a personal coach in your pocket. The AI analyzes job descriptions and picks out those keywords and skills that employers are looking for. You can then weave those into your answers. Make sure you're hitting all the right notes.
Okay, I'm seeing how this could be super helpful. Now, question number 2. How do you ensure that packaging production meets quality and safety standards? It's not enough to just say, I follow the rules, Russ.
Definitely not. This is where you showcase your knowledge of those industry standards and your attention to detail.
Okay, so how do you go beyond just saying you follow the rules?
Think back to your previous roles. What specific systems did you implement? What challenges did you overcome to ensure top-notch quality and safety?
So you could talk about a time when you notice a problem on the production line, let's say, and you took steps to fix it.
Exactly. Like, let's say you spotted inconsistencies in the sealing process. You could say, I implemented a multi-step quality control checklist, including visual inspections and random sampling tests. This led to a significant reduction in defects. C, problem-solving skills and commitment to excellence.
And I bet they might ask follow-up questions too, right? Like,
Right.
What specific quality management systems are you familiar with? Or what safety training have you received?
Oh, absolutely. Be prepared to elaborate. And always have concrete examples that demonstrate your expertise.
All right, let's move on to question number 3. How do you manage packaging production schedules and ensure timely delivery? This feels like it's all about juggling multiple priorities, staying organized.
It is. They want to see that you can handle the pressure of deadlines, manage resources effectively, and keep everything running smoothly.
Right, because in packaging, time is money, right?
Exactly. Think about the tools and strategies you use to stay organized and on track.
So instead of just saying, I'm a master of multitasking, you could paint a picture of how you handle a tight deadline, maybe.
Absolutely. You could say in a previous role, we had a major product launch with a super tight deadline. To ensure timely delivery, I implemented a detailed production schedule, coordinated closely with suppliers, and held daily progress meetings with my team.
Boom. That shows you're proactive and on top of things. Now, let's talk about question number 4. How do you develop and implement packaging designs? I'm guessing this is where creativity comes into play.
Big time. But it's got to be practical too, right?
Right, it can't just look pretty, it has to work.
Exactly. It's a balance of artistry and functionality. You need to understand your target audience, consider the product's requirements, and create a design that's both appealing and practical. And we can't forget about sustainability these days.
Definitely a hot topic.
Huh.
So you'd want to talk about your design process, maybe share an example of a successful packaging design you created?
For sure. And be prepared for follow-up questions like, how do you incorporate customer feedback into your designs?
Well, that's a good one.
Oh.
How would you answer that?
You could mention using focus groups or surveys to gather insights. For instance, when we were designing packaging for a new line of eco-friendly cleaning products, we surveyed consumers to understand their preferences for sustainable materials.
Smart move. Shows you're thinking about the bigger picture. Okay, now let's delve into question number 5. How do you manage and develop a team of packaging production staff? This is all about leadership, right?
It is building a strong team, motivating your employees, and creating a positive and productive work environment. They're looking for insights into your leadership style and how you foster growth.
Right, because you're not just managing machines, you're managing people.
Exactly.
So what kind of example could you give that would really showcase those leadership skills?
Think about a time when you helped a team member develop their skills or overcome a challenge. You could say, I implemented a mentorship program that paired experienced employees with newer team members. This not only boosted morale, but also accelerated skill development.
I like that. A win-win situation. All right, question number 6 is all about staying current. How do you stay up to date with the latest trends and technologies in packaging production? This industry is always evolving, so how do you show them you're on top of your game?
It's about demonstrating your commitment to continuous learning. Mention industry publications you read, conferences you attend, or professional organizations you're a part of.
Show them you're proactive.
Exactly. Don't just say, I read a lot. Give them specifics, right?
Right.
You could say something like, I recently attended a webinar on the use of biodegradable plastics in packaging. I'm now exploring ways to incorporate this technology into our own product line.
Perfect. Shows you're not just learning, but applying that knowledge. Question number 7. How do you manage production costs and optimize profitability? Now, this one sounds a bit intimidating.
It can be, but it's about showcasing your business acumen, your understanding of the bottom line.
Okay, so how do you break that down?
Think about times you've identified cost-saving opportunities, streamlined processes, or negotiated favorable contracts, and quantify your achievements whenever possible.
So instead of just saying, I'm good with budgets, you could give them a concrete example.
Exactly. You could say, by implementing a new inventory management system, I was able to reduce waste by 15%, saving the company $50,000 annually. Numbers speak volumes.
They sure do. Now, question number 8 is all about risk. How do you manage risk in packaging production? What comes to mind when you hear that?
Thinking ahead, being prepared.
Right, because in packaging, there's a lot that can go wrong.
Exactly. Think about potential risks like safety hazards, quality issues, or supply chain disruptions. How do you identify and mitigate those risks? What systems do you have in place?
For example, you could talk about implementing a comprehensive safety checklist or developing a plan to address potential supply chain disruptions, right?
Precisely. And if you've ever faced a crisis or unexpected challenge, briefly share how you handled it and what you learned.
Shows you can think on your feet. All right, last but not least, question number 9. How do you manage and develop relationships with customers and suppliers?
This is all about communication and collaboration, building strong, mutually beneficial relationships.
So more than just transactions, right?
Right. They want to see that you genuinely value these partnerships.
So how do you showcase that in your answer?
Share a specific example of how you've successfully navigated a challenging situation with a customer or a supplier. Did you negotiate a win-win agreement? Did you go above and beyond to resolve an issue?
Like, for instance?
You could say, when a key supplier experienced a production delay, I worked closely with them to expedite delivery of critical materials while keeping my customer informed throughout the process.
Great example. Shows you're proactive, communicative, and committed to finding solutions. So we've covered the first 9 questions. but there's still so much more to unpack.
Welcome back. We're diving deeper into those packaging production manager interview qualities.
Ready to nail those answers.
Absolutely. Let's rewind to that first question. What are your qualifications for this role?
Seems simple, but
It's your chance to set the tone. Show them you're passionate about packaging.
right, we talked about storytelling. How can someone really make their qualifications come alive?
Think back to the very beginning. What sparked your interest in this field? Was it a specific project? A mentor, maybe?
Or maybe even like a childhood fascination with how things are made.
Exactly. It's those little details that make your story memorable. You could say, my fascination with packaging started when I realized how much thought goes into designing a box that not only protects a product, but also catches the consumer's eye.
So you're not just listing qualifications, you're showing the roots of your passion.
Right. And then you weave in those key skills and experiences that match the job description.
Where RoleCatcher's AI can be so helpful.
Totally. Their platform analyzes job descriptions and identifies the specific skills employers want.
It's like having a personalized cheat sheet.
Exactly. For example, if they mention lean manufacturing, you'll want to highlight any experience you have with, say, process improvement or waste reduction.
Smart. Okay, let's move on to question number 2. How do you ensure that packaging production meets quality and safety standards?
Remember, it's not enough to just say you follow the rules.
Got it. Show them you're proactive.
Exactly. You're meticulous about quality control.
So instead of just saying, I adhere to all safety protocols.
Share a specific example, a time when you went above and beyond.
Okay, I'm thinking.
Let's say you notice inconsistencies in the labeling process. You could say, I implemented a double-check system where each label was verified by 2 separate employees before being applied. This significantly reduced errors and ensured accuracy.
Nice. It showcases your problem-solving skills. And I bet they'll have follow-up questions, right?
Oh, for sure. They might ask about specific quality management systems, like, are you familiar with ISO 9001? Or they might ask about your experience with conducting audits, or maybe implementing corrective actions.
Be ready for anything. All right, question number 3. How do you manage packaging production schedules and ensure timely delivery? This one feels like a juggling act.
It is. They want to see that you can handle those deadlines, prioritize tasks, and, keep that whole production process running smoothly.
So instead of just saying, I'm good at meeting deadlines,
Paint a picture. How do you approach project management?
okay, give me an example.
You could share an example of a time when you managed a complex project, one with lots of moving parts. Maybe you were launching a new product line and had to coordinate with different departments, suppliers, stakeholders.
Yeah.
The whole shebang.
It's about showing them you can handle the big picture and the tiny details. Okay, question number 4. How do you develop and implement packaging designs? This is where the creative juices start flowing, right?
Definitely. But you got to be practical, too.
Right, it can't just be a pretty package.
It has to function, be sustainable, meet those consumer needs. It's a whole ecosystem.
And don't forget the technical side, too.
Right. You've got to consider materials, production costs, environmental impact.
It's a lot. So how do you show them you're both creative and strategic?
If they ask you to walk them through your design process, you can describe how you gather customer requirements, how you do your market research, brainstorm concepts, create prototypes, test, refine. You might even mention specific software or design tools like, oh, I'm proficient in CAD programs, or, I use 3D modeling software.
Show off those tech skills.
Yeah.
But speaking of tech, RoleCatcher's AI.
Don't forget it. It can be a lifesaver for crafting your answers to these technical questions.
Because
It analyzes those job descriptions and highlights the technologies and skills that are most relevant to the role.
so you're speaking their language.
Exactly, showing them that expertise they're looking for. Okay, let's move on to question number 5. How do you manage and develop a team of packaging production staff?
This one's all about leadership.
It is. They want to understand your leadership style, how you inspire a team, how you create that positive, productive work environment.
So are you a collaborative leader or more directive?
Right. Think about it. And then share those concrete examples of how you've successfully managed and developed a team in the past.
What kind of stories should people be ready to tell?
Did you mentor a junior employee and help them level up their skills? Did you implement a new training program that boosted team performance? Or maybe you created a culture of innovation where everyone felt comfortable sharing their ideas.
It's about showing you invest in your team's growth. All right, question number 6. How do you stay up to date with the latest trends and technologies in packaging production?
This industry is always evolving. New materials, technologies, regulations. It's constant.
So how do you show them you're not falling behind?
You got to show that commitment to continuous learning. Mention conferences you've attended, webinars you've participated in, professional organizations you're a member of. You could even mention a recent article that caught your eye, something that sparked a new idea.
Stay curious. What if they ask you to elaborate on a specific trend?
Be ready. Be prepared to discuss things like sustainable packaging solutions, smart packaging technologies, automation, 3D printing, whatever's hot in the industry. The more specific, the better.
And don't forget, RoleCatcher's AI can help here too.
Absolutely. It can analyze those job descriptions and tell you exactly which trends and technologies to focus on.
It's like having a personalized study guide. Okay, let's tackle question number 7. How do you manage production costs and optimize profitability? This one can feel a little intimidating.
It's about showcasing your business savvy, your understanding of the bottom line.
Give me some examples of how to do that.
Think about times you've identified cost-saving opportunities or streamlined processes. Have you negotiated favorable contracts with suppliers? Quantify your achievements.
Show them the numbers.
Exactly. For example, you could say, by implementing a new quality control procedure, we were able to reduce product defects by 10%. This saved the company significant money in material waste and rework.
Love it. Okay, question number 8. How do you manage risk in packaging production? This one feels like it's all about being prepared for the unexpected.
It is. They want to see that you're proactive about risk management, that you can anticipate problems and have strategies to mitigate them.
So what kind of risks are we talking about here?
Think safety hazards on the production line, potential quality issues with materials, supply chain disruptions, even reputational risks like product recalls.
It's a lot to think about.
It is. You could talk about conducting risk assessments, implementing safety protocols, developing contingency plans, diversifying your supplier network, maybe even investing in insurance to protect against potential losses.
Wow, it's all about having a system in place to protect the company. What about follow-up questions? What if they want to dig deeper?
They might ask about specific risk management methodologies, like, are you familiar with FMEA, failure mode and effects analysis, or HAZO, hazard and operability study?
So do your homework. Be ready to explain how you've used these methodologies. All right, final question. How do you manage and develop relationships with customers and suppliers?
This is about your interpersonal skills, your ability to build those strong, lasting relationships.
It's about being a partner, not just a vendor.
Exactly. They want to see that you can communicate effectively, collaborate, and navigate those inevitable challenges that come up in a way that benefits everyone.
So how do you showcase that?
Share a specific example. A time when you went above and beyond for a customer, or maybe you resolved a conflict with a supplier in a way that preserved that relationship.
I'm thinking.
Maybe you worked closely with a supplier to develop a custom packaging solution, or you negotiated a win-win contract that addressed everyone's needs.
Great examples. It shows you're a relationship builder, someone who can cultivate trust in those long-term partnerships. Okay, we've prepped for those tough interview questions, but what happens after you land that packaging production manager job? What does the future look like?
That's where RoleCatcher's career insights are super helpful.
Oh yeah, they map out those potential career paths, right?
Yeah, exactly. Help you see where this role can lead.
I like that. It's like a roadmap for success. So where does this roadmap usually begin?
Well, you often start as a packaging production assistant, getting that hands-on experience, learning the ropes.
Your training ground.
Exactly.
From there, what's a typical next step?
You could move into a packaging production coordinator role. More responsibility there, coordinating schedules, managing materials, maybe even supervising a small team.
So starting to take ownership, what does RoleCatcher say about that stage?
They actually provide a sample profile. Someone with a few years of experience, a solid grasp of the process, and those emerging leadership skills.
Okay, so they're moving up the ladder. What comes after that?
You might transition into a senior packaging engineer role. Now you're the go-to expert, leading the development of new packaging solutions.
Yeah, that sounds like a big jump.
It is. You're mentoring junior team members, having a real impact on the company's packaging strategy.
Really making a difference. Now, I know certifications can be a big deal in this field. What does RoleCatcher say about those?
They highlight the Certified Packaging Professional, the CPP, as a major credibility booster.
What does that tell employers?
It shows you have a comprehensive understanding of packaging principles, materials, processes, regulations. The whole 9 yards.
It's a signal that you're serious about this career.
Exactly. You're not just in the field, you're a leader.
Are there other certifications worth considering?
Definitely. There's the CPPT for those focused on the tech side, and the CPPD for the design specialists.
So you can really niche down.
Exactly. Show off your expertise in a specific area.
Okay, let's circle back to RoleCatcher's AI one last time. We know it can help tailor resumes and interview answers, but how else does it support the job search?
One of the coolest things is it can analyze job descriptions and tell you the exact skills you need to highlight to stand out.
Like a personal recruiter in your pocket.
Right. It takes the guesswork out of those applications.
And don't forget, you can try it out for free. Nothing to lose.
Exactly. So there you have it. We've covered prepping for that interview, given you a glimpse into those exciting career paths.
And shown you how RoleCatcher's AI can be your secret weapon.
Right. Remember, use those resources, leverage that AI, and most importantly, bring your passion and expertise to the table.
You've got this. Now, as you step into this dynamic field, here's something to think about. How do you think packaging will evolve in the next 5 years? What role will sustainability, technology, and those ever-changing consumer demands play in shaping the future?